All right, hello everybody, and welcome to our second live stream of the day. Today we've got a great presentation on Microsoft Fabric, and I have Sally with me. Coming to us from Israel. So, welcome, Sally, and welcome
Hello.
everybody to Azure Back to School. Thanks to everybody, all of our Sally and all of our contributors this month. This has been the event. We're about 2 weeks in, and great content and great traffic coming to the YouTube channel, looking at the sites, looking at the articles on the Azure Back to School website. And if you're looking for the schedule, you can go to azureback2school.github.io and get the full schedule, look at and access any of the previous days' articles or sessions. But without a delay and to allow Sally all the time that she needs to provide her presentation, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Sally. I'm a Microsoft employee. I'm a data engineer in Fast Track organization, and I'm based in Israel. And today we're gonna talk about Microsoft Fabric product. I just want to mention to everyone that this product is still in preview and it's not GA. So we have updates on a daily basis, and that's it. So let's start. So, in today's agenda, we're gonna make a short introduction about Microsoft Fabric. We're gonna do a short demo, and then we will have questions and answers. You can ask me anything basically on this service. So, we're gonna talk about Fabric components. I prefer to show it to you. I have the slides here, but I prefer to show it to you in the service itself. So I'm gonna open really quickly my Fabric workspace. This is Microsoft Fabric. I created a workspace, and here on the left side, we have Fabric components. We have Power BI, which you can build reports. We have Data Factory, which you can do ETLs and transformations and copy your data from one source to another with over 100 data connectors. And we have data activator for alerts and to monitor your app. We have also data engineering tab, data science, data warehouse, and real-time analytics. And I think the biggest advantage of Microsoft Fabric is basically one lake. For each workspace we have a lake house, and for all of our workspaces, every lake house that we have, it will land on one lake, which is awesome because you will prevent data redundancy, and we will prevent copying our data from one workspace to another. So this is the architecture that is written in Microsoft documentation. As you can see, we have one lake, and here are the components of Microsoft Fabric. So 1 minute, I'm just gonna show you. Maybe it's in the presentation. Yeah, it's here. So here you can see, as I mentioned, for each workspace we have a lake house, and it's connected to one lake basically, and we have all the components of Fabric, and this is the advantage of using Fabric. So everything is in one service. So I wrote a blog about how we can do partitioning in ADF. I'm gonna share the link into the chat really shortly. So, why partitioning is important? Partitioning is important because when we partition our data, we basically divide data into subcategories, and we will reduce runtime, and it will be efficient for us to search for data in this way. So, unfortunately, it's not supported yet in Fabric to partition data like we had in ADF. We could partition using data flows, but in Fabric the concept of data flow is a bit different. So we use partitioning in notebooks, in Synapse notebooks. So first, in order to do that, we create a lake house. I have a metadata for yellow taxi information, and you can see it also here in my blog. This is the taxi data. It's from an API, online API, and this is the folder that I'm gonna use. It's called Yellow Trip Data 2016-03.csv. Now, in my OneLake, I added my taxi data into my ADLS account. So I have an account. I can show you here also. This is my data lake. This is my container, and I added my file here. 1 minute, I'm gonna find it. Here, can you see it? Yellow data 2016, blah, blah, blah. Now, I added my ADLS as a shortcut in my lakehouse. How can I do that? When you click on get data, you can add new shortcut. Then you can add data lake, and you can control when you click on, you should provide the URL, and it's mentioned here how you can copy your ADLS endpoint. And then when you click on next, because I already added it to my workspace, I don't want to add it again. When you finish filling this information, you will get a shortcut. And when you refresh your data lakehouse, you can see your container, your subfolders, your files, and you can load your files into a notebook. So here's my notebook. This is my lakehouse shortcut. And here is my data lake, as I mentioned. 1 minute. I'm gonna check files. 1 minute, I can't see my file. Okay, it's stuck. 1 minute, I'm gonna reload my workspace. Exit page. So if I click on my workspace, I click on my notebook, open notebook. I should see my file on the left side under Lakehouse and load it into my Spark data frame. So let's see. Estimated data. It's not opening correctly. Oh yeah, here is it. So here I can see my file that I put in my data lake. And if you click on it, it's not clicking for some reason. But if you click on it, you can save, you can load it into your data frame. I'm sorry, it's stuck again. I'll reopen it in another tab and just show you the code. But right click on your file, you can load it into data frame. 1 minute, I'm really sorry. Okay, so as I mentioned, partitioning is not supported yet in data flows. We have kind of partitioning using copy activity, but you can't have dynamic partitioning there. It's only if you want to partition by a certain column. So in order to do dynamic partitioning, like if I have a date and I want to partition by year, month, and date, I should have these columns in my data if I want to partition in copy activity. If I want it to be dynamic, so we need to use notebooks. So here I'm adding I'm reading my file that I loaded. Then I'm writing my output folder. It will be saved in output partitioning, and the path that I want to write to is basically my ADLS path under this folder that I want to be created dynamically. And I have this a column in my data, and I want to extract day, month, and year. So I'm adding with column function, and I'm extracting these values from my a date. And after that, I'm writing my data. I'm gonna partition by these columns and I'm gonna write it as a Parquet file. Notice that the initial file that we are loading is CSV, and I want in output to be Parquet files, and then I want it to be partitioned by these columns. So if you run this notebook, you will get success. I tried to run it before the session started, before our meeting started, and for some reason it's taking too long. Again, the product is still in preview, but it shouldn't take so long. So it depends on the hours that you run your notebooks in it. So after running this, if I open my data lake, okay, in output partitioning folder, remember that we want to save our data here in output partitioning. I can see success, and I can see year, month, day, as I mentioned in the code. And if I click in any day, I can see Parquet files. Do you have any questions? Anyone? I can't see your name, so if you have any questions, just type the questions here on the chat. Dwayne, are you on the call? Can you guys hear me?
Sorry. Yes, I can hear
It's
you.
okay.
Sorry, I wasn't in the
Okay.
stage, so.
Okay, no problem. Do you have any questions about fabric components, about how you can perform partitioning? I can show you also. I know it's not part of this session, but you can have also copy activity, you can do pagination, you can do basically everything that you can do in ADF or in Synapse pipelines. But we have another connectors, we have additional connectors. And by the way, I think in the last 2 weeks, we added two more activities, which is Teams and Outlook. Now in Fabric, you can notify your team channel or chat, and you can also notify your team via Outlook. So I think it's a great addition.
Integration looks to be very helpful. So that's
Yeah.
really cool.
And I just want to mention that again, data flows concept is not. I'm hearing myself twice, Dwayne.
Let me go on
Um,
mute.
okay. So I just want to mention again that data flows concept here is not your data flow concept that you see in ADF. It's different because it's built on Power BI. It's built on reports, so it's a bit different. And we have many features that it will come in the next few months. So stay tuned. And I think it's a great product because it saves a lot of work, and you can connect multiple SaaS services into one place, which is awesome. Um, and that's it for me. Do you have any questions about Fabric?
Nothing from anyone in the chat. So you mentioned at the beginning that it is currently in preview.
Yes.
When and the new updates are coming through on a
Updates are
regular
coming
basis, like
on,
on a week.
yeah, it's coming on a daily basis. We don't have an estimation time when it will be GA. But when it will happen, we will announce certainly in Microsoft website and on social media. And just you can track news on Microsoft Fabric community on LinkedIn. Um, and that's it.
And it's public preview, so anybody can go in and utilize and
Yes.
play with the fabric, right?
And we have free trial, so you can try it out.
Very good. All right.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I don't see any questions. I'm sure people can reach out to you on social media, or
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye out.
I'm gonna share my LinkedIn works profile, and please connect. And I put a lot of things here. And check also my blog post about partitioning, how it's done in Fabric. I have a lot of blogs that I publish on Tech Community. And that's it.
Okay, looks like we're getting an error on. You want to put those into the private chat, Sally, and maybe
Yeah,
looks like they're having a problem. I don't know if it's not allowing you as a.
maybe
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm a speaker, I can't type.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I was just double checking.
Mhm.
So let me try it.
You can stop sharing my
Yep,
screen.
there we go. Okay, yeah, that seemed to work. So, oops, comments. We'll get
Yeah,
those into the chat so that anybody can reach out.
awesome.
There we go. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you, Sally. Appreciate the session and teaching everybody about what's coming with Microsoft Fabric and how they can access and
Yeah,
do great things with it. And look forward to seeing more as the releases go. So, and thank you
awesome.
very much for your
Thank you
session. And
so
I guess I
much.
think yeah, thank you. And see you for you got a second session coming up.
Next
I
week.
think next week as well. So look forward
Yeah,
to seeing you again. And thank you very much for your contribution to Azure Back to School.
me too. Bye bye.
Bye.